Good evening, everyone. I said I would record this video tonight, so I'm going to. I'm up in Fairbanks at the moment, and it is 11 p.m. in Alaska. I just want to show you how not dark it is. We have been processing salmon all, let's see, what can I do? Salmon all evening, and we're finally finished. Fish is in the freezer, and I got some salmon skins that I'm going to post later that I'm pretty excited about. You guys can't really see my face. There we go. Let's do that. So this is a video about why I chose Botox, and I just want to give a disclaimer before I give this video that this is not a video to shame anyone. That's not to say what someone should or shouldn't do. I'm simply just sharing my experience, and I'll also give you a little more information about the mechanism, since I'm a professor of anatomy and physiology, just so you understand it. So, why I chose Botox. I'm going to talk about what Botox is, how it works, and why I chose it in my experience. And then tomorrow, I'll talk about the single experience that caused me to stop using Botox. And on Saturday, I'm going to talk about what started my face yoga journey and that whole thing there. So, why I chose Botox. For those of you that don't know, I had a decently long career in dentistry for 10 years. I was pretty devoted to dentistry and was working hard to become a dentist. And in that time, Botox was really coming on the scene as being something that not only plastic surgeons were using or dermatologists were using, but also something that dentists were using because they work on everything from the neck up. You're gonna see me flop mosquitoes. I just can't not. I have so many bug bites on my body already. Okay. So 2012 was the first time that I used Botox. And before I used it, I'm very much a why person. So I did a lot of research. Botox is short for botulinum toxin A. All of the commercially manufactured Botox is version A. I think there's 7 or 8 different strains of Botox. And botulinum toxin is a neurotoxin. So whenever you see neuro, that means nerve. So when you think nerve, think your nervous system. So your brain, anything that's sending nervous impulses throughout your body. So when you inject, that's what Botox is. So how it works is when you inject it into an area, the doctor doesn't just straight up inject solid botulinum toxin. They inject a diluted version. So they'll take some of that toxin and they'll mix it usually with like a sterile saline, and they'll administer in a tiny little insulin needle. So it's relatively pain-free. You don't even need, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but you don't need anesthetic or anything like that. How it works is because it's a neurotoxin, it disrupts the ability for nerves to release a chemical called acetylcholine, or ACH is how you'll see it referred to. So they don't release that, and thus it prevents a change in membrane potential happening within the muscle, so there's no contraction. Sorry, I'm just wondering if my dogs are loose. So it paralyzes the muscle essentially. And as that muscle paralyzes, it completely relaxes, and so you'll see your wrinkles slowly disappear. And usually they say don't judge Botox reaction for a week or two after. So it takes a little bit of time. And the other thing that happens is, if you can imagine having your arm in a cast, if you've ever had any limb in a cast or had a friend who's had a limb in a cast, what happens to the muscle? Well, it's not being used, so it atrophies. It becomes much smaller. And that's exactly what will happen if you use Botox in your face. So I used it on my forehead. And I also did a treatment in my masseter muscle because I clench. And I was trying to use it as a preventative measure because I don't wear makeup. I love makeup. I just choose not to wear it. And I wanted to age gracefully, and I want to age joyfully. And so that's kind of what started. My first dose was in 2012, 13-ish. My last dose was in 2018, and then my third dose was somewhere in between those two. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. You know, kind of why I chose Botox, what it is, roughly how it works, and my experience with it. What it did feel like, and what I didn't necessarily love about it, is it felt like someone was just like pressing a hand on my forehead. And I'm going to see if I can do my reaction. This was like the funny thing that I would do for people. Let's say I had Botox. And I'd say, want to see my surprise face? All I could do was like, I couldn't even raise my eyebrows like that. I could just open my eyes big. So, anyways, silly things. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you about the single experience that caused me to stop taking Botox. And then on Saturday we'll talk about face yoga. But I hope this was informative. I do deeply believe in body sovereignty. I don't care what someone does to their body. I believe that we should all have the ability and right to choose what we take into our body or don't. So I will just leave you with that. And I hope you have a wonderful night and enjoy our beautiful Alaskan evening. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.